Charlie Kirk's assassin is caught on tape. Blake Bednar has brought us this video. We'll break it down. Take a look at this. Here it is from the wide angle. Watch Charlie Kirk's right side of his t-shirt. Watch the lavalier lapel mic. Do you see it explode? Let's bring it in just a little bit closer. Watch this. Put it in a freeze frame. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic. Want to see it again? Bring it in closer. Remember when we told you that that was absolutely an exit wound? Yeah, it is. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic. That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw that exit wound. First we had exploding pagers. Now we have exploding mics. Do you remember the vector analysis from John Bray? That proves that all of the activity came from the mic that Charlie Kirk was wearing. Remember the palm gun guy in the brown shirt, that shadowy looking guy with the sunglasses? Yeah, he pushes the detonator. Clear as day.
Counting gang violence. Great.
That's the assassin. That's the guy that pushes the detonator, which perfectly aligns with the explosion that pushes that projectile through Charlie's right side of his neck and out the left side, creating the exit wound. That might just look like the chaos that you would expect after someone was publicly executed in broad daylight in front of 3,000 people. But in no way did that trigger man, that assassin in the brown shirt with the sunglasses, act alone. We have video now from Destiny that shows the handoff of this remote detonator.
Watch closely. The one guy grabs a squib, gives it to the guy with the polo, he puts it in his pocket. Now the other guy that I once said, press the remote for the squib, takes the remote, puts it in the other guy's pocket.
This is not how dudes act when things go south. Something is wrong with this scenario. At this point, I was highly trained in my career. These guys weren't that were around Charlie. They just saw a huge traumatic wound and they're fidgeting around, passing things around. It doesn't make sense, and it just adds more confusion to a situation that shouldn't be so confusing.
We had John Cullen on the program last week, and he made a great point about ballistic acoustics being altered to hide the location of the real shooter. Well, the same can be said to distract from the fact that there was no shooter. Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk. This guy, brown shirt guy, he's the assassin.
Newly surfaced video footage reveals a shocking explosion from Kirk's lav mic, clipped to the right side of his white t-shirt during his speech at the Utah Valley University Amphitheater. In slow motion and freeze frame analysis, the footage clearly shows the microphone detonating, propelling a projectile through Kirk's neck and creating an exit wound on the front of his neck. I can only show an image recreation of the explosion through his neck to avoid YouTube censorship, as they restricted my last video on the subject, but I need to get the word out that the feds are lying to us all. John Bray's vector analysis confirms the projectile originated from the microphone itself, definitely ruling out a traditional gunshot. The microphone's battery pack was at Kirk's hip, and the device extended up to his neck to the microphone. Bray used a high-speed frame-by-frame breakdown of the footage, tracing the initial flash and projectile path from the Mike's battery pack at Kirk's hip, calculating velocity and trajectory based on the shirt's outward bulge and neck wound pattern. A brown-shirted figure in the crowd, identified as the trigger man, had a detonator hidden in his sleeve. In the split second before the gunshot sound, he appears to pull the detonator from his arm. Far too coincidental to dismiss.
That terrible wound from which you saw Charlie Kirk's life's blood leaving his body was not the entry wound, but was an exit wound. And that is now proven beyond peradventure. Now that's important, because if that was the exit wound and the entry wound came from the other side, that means Tyler ain't the shooter. And it means that gun isn't the murder weapon. And you have to ask yourself, if they're lying about the shooter, if they're lying about the murder weapon, they're lying about the whole thing. It's obvious. They're trying to tell you a furry. My God, I never thought I'd live long enough to know what a furry was. And I now know more about furries than I ever wanted to know. A furry whose boyfriend, girlfriend is a trans, and who was found wandering on a roof, but didn't have a weapon, that was found in the woods. He's the patsy, all right. He may even believe that he was involved in it. He may have been told it was a Nicolas Cage movie. He may have been told anything, but he wasn't the shooter. And that weapon with the scope on wrong, such that it would have blown his eye out if he'd fired the shot from a Mauser, that wasn't the murder weapon. The murder weapon came from far more up close and personal. And personal may be a vital qualifier in the statement I have just made. Because it seems to me that who killed Charlie Kirk knew Charlie Kirk, and maybe knew him very well.
Oh, way. If you want security, the Israelis know what they're doing.